if you need to. Let's start off by taking a few really deep breaths, inhaling your arms all the way up, over, reaching to be the longest, tallest version of yourself. Sometimes it feels good to reach a little bit more with your right hand, then your left hand. Exhaling, arms down. And one more time here. This time, interlacing fingers, bringing them up over your head. You aren't holding your breath the whole time that we're at the top here, just to let you know you're continuing to breathe. And bringing your hands to the other side, doing a nice little side bend in there. Drawing your hands back in space to open up through your body a little bit more. And then bringing your hands down. Opening up through the front of your chest. And then opening up through your back.
Problem. And this is Susan.
Oh, we've got somebody that's not on mute. Beautiful. All right, so now that we got a little bit of movement going here in a gentle way, we're going to do a little bit of a standing version of a cat-cow. So inhaling to open, exhaling to close. I'm going to do it with my hands down by my sides today. So I'm inhaling, my hands back. I'm opening up through my chest first, then allowing a little bit of an arch through my lower back. And then if it feels good, drawing the back of my head back in space and reaching up towards the ceiling with my chin. And then exhaling, I'm rounding out through my upper back, yes, but pushing that rounding into the back of my neck and through my lower back. Going back and forth now, just with my own breath as it feels good. And if you find a spot that you want to pause in and take a few breaths there, that is totally your choice. You're welcome to do that. Sometimes pausing in that one position and just giving yourself time to settle in can feel so nice. To take a few breaths. Let's say it was here and I'm rounding. Few breaths and really thinking about using that breath to expand the space between my shoulder blades and use that for an even deeper stretch. And then opening through the front of my chest, thinking about using that breath to fill up my lungs, fill up my whole chest cavity, spread the ribs further apart. Beautiful. So now let's continue this opening and closing with the breath, but let's let gravity pull on us from a different angle. So you'll either slide your hands down your knees, so gravity is now pulling at you while you're in a more horizontal position, or you'll use a table or chair, non-rolly chair, something like that to support yourself. We're gonna drop our chest down between our shoulders here, push the back of the head back in space, allow that lower back to arch, but thinking about pushing it into the middle and upper back as well. And then when you're rounding, tucking that pelvis first, like you have a tail and you were tucking it between your legs, taking some of the pressure off there. Dropping your chin towards your chest and allowing the upper and middle back to round as well. Back and forth. You could think about what your breath's natural cadence is like right now, and you can attempt to slow it down by just a second or two each way. Inhale, slow down a little bit. Exhale, slow down a little bit. So you're doing a more complete exhale and a more complete inhale. One more. Deep inhale and arch. One more really complete exhale to round. And then we'll stand on up. We are going to stand up with our feet sort of planted underneath us. Put your feet a little bit wider apart than you normally would here, just for stability. And we're gonna be the longest, tallest version of ourselves. So engaging through your core so you have plenty of stability for your lower spine. And then almost like somebody has one of your hairs, they're pulling you straight up. Be that long, tall version of yourself. From here, we're going to do a little stretch for your lats. So bringing your hands up overhead, I'm going to reach down my back with my right arm and then hold on to my right elbow with my left hand. And just hang out here for a moment, using my left hand to help me into that stretch a little bit more. Breathing into it again. And then if it feels good here and you want to add a little something extra, keep that long, tall posture and tip over to the left. If that's intense for you, you can stay up here, or you can hold opposite elbows, which will take off the pressure a little bit, and tip over as well. When we're in this position, and you could certainly come out of it and into it as is comfortable for you, when we're in this position of tipping over the side, there is a tendency to increase that lower back arch. Try not to do that. Try to keep that long, tall posture and not collapse into the lower back. So imagine you're between two panes of glass and you have just barely enough room. We're also trying not to allow the right shoulder to come forward here. All right, shake out your arms. We're gonna do the other side. So left arm comes up. I'm reaching down my back with my left hand, holding onto my left elbow with my right hand, and pausing here to just really, really enjoy that stretch. Take a nice deep inhale. And a wonderful, complete exhale. And if it feels good, tip over to the side. Your modifications are to either stay upright or to hold opposite elbows instead, and then tip over to the side. Checking in with your lower back, checking in with your core, making sure that you aren't collapsing into your lower back. When you bend to the side, you're bending up and over something. So if I was in a heist right now, there's like a laser right here, and I don't want to touch that laser. And coming back up whenever you're ready. Bringing the arms down to the sides and doing some really deep shoulder rolls here. Sometimes it feels good to do shoulder rolls with your hands down by your side, but there are lots of variations. So you could put your hands on your shoulders and do the biggest circles imaginable with your elbows. You can move your whole arm. The shoulder's still rolling here, right? So you're sort of choosing the level of extension that feels good for your body. When my arm is straight, we have a little stretch not only through the shoulder and into the pec and into the bicep. And that's a little bit different than if my arms are down at the side, because I don't get this benefit as well. All right, on to twisting, my friends. So I'm gonna just start off here. Hips are facing straight forward and they're gonna stay straight forward. We aren't bending through the knees or the ankles right now. Hips stay aimed straight forward. And I'm going to inhale, and then I'm gonna lead with my right elbow here, bringing that twist to the right. I'm also going to include my head and my neck as long as it feels good. Every time you inhale, inhale yourself up a little bit taller, and every time you exhale, twist a little bit further to the right. If twists are not the most accessible, comfortable things for you, you might choose to go straight from center to right and back and forth. That's also great. Beautiful. Back to center here. And we're going to go the other direction. I'll show this one from the side. So my hips are staying straight in front of me as much as possible. And then I'm going to twist to the side. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to twist. Leading with my left elbow, but also including my neck into that twist. Double checking with my hips to make sure that they're behaving themselves and I'm not just getting way focused on my goal here. Beautiful. Come back to center whenever you're ready. And we're going to do just a little bit to take care of our hands. I'm going to start off with making fists. It's always hard for me to see what you guys can see. I'm going to make a fist, and then I'm going to draw a giant circle around my wrist with my fist. I know that part sounded like a little Dr. Seuss book of stretching. Beautiful. If you find a sticky spot that feels really good and you're like, oh, there's the stretch, go ahead and hang out there. Maybe do a micro wiggle back and forth, in and out of the stretch, sort of exploring. Reverse direction of your circle here if you haven't already. Beautiful. And then opening up the hands, I'm going to place the fingertips together in front of my body. And then I'm going to keep the palms apart, right? I'm going to start off with the fingertips up higher than my elbows. And then I'm going to draw them down in space until I get a lovely stretch. The stretch will include the fingers, the palm of the hand, maybe get into the forearm a tiny bit here. And I'm just going to breathe into that stretch, finding the place that feels really, really wonderful. Let's say you were doing some weed whacking this weekend. You were gripping onto something that was vibrating. This will be a nice stretch for that. Tip the hands to the fingertips towards your body. And away. And then have the fingers meeting the whole time here. So my fingers are pressed together, but my palms are still apart. Start with my hands higher than my elbows and then draw down to find the right stretch. Now you can tip into your left side a little bit more or your right side a little bit more. Don't worry too much about your thumbs. Sometimes they're a little bit uncooperative as far as meeting perfectly here. Beautiful. Come on out of it. And we're going to end just by reaching towards the ground. This can also feel really good on your lower back. So if you were accidentally collapsing into your lower back a little tiny bit, this could feel really nice. All I'm going to do is I'm going to reach down my legs here, allowing my lower back to round as I reach towards the ground. If you prefer to support yourself on a stool or a desk or something, you can also do that. And just allowing your chest to come towards the ground, the top of your head towards the ground, and allowing that lower back to round. So thinking about tucking through your pelvis here as well. Whichever version you're doing. If it feels nice, you can use your hands on the back of your legs to pull yourself into that stretch a little bit more. But don't go overboard as with any stretch. Beautiful. And whenever you're ready, you could stand on up. And we are done today. I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon.